Hello there, dear viewer, and welcome to haQ attaQ. My name is Jakob. I'm your host, and you're watching a haQ attaQ episode. AUM is one of those apps that I pull out whenever I want to experiment with sounds or with setups or, just jam and do stuff like that. And whenever I want to produce music, I choose a production type DAW like Core Gadget or Cubasis or something like that. Now, the strength of AUM comes in its modularity, that it's so modular. You can build almost any way that you want. And I've recently shown you how you can make your own mixer setup, your own mixer strips. And in this one, I thought, let's go a little bit more experimental. And there's this one effect that I really enjoy using, and it is shimmer reverbs. In fact, I did a whole episode in where I tested all of the shimmer reverb apps on iOS, and if you go and watch it, you can clearly hear how different all of these shimmer reverbs are from one another. Well, here we're gonna build our own. So right in front of us, we have one channel right now, and in the input, I've got a guitar loop. It's a perfect thing to use for demonstrating what I'm gonna do next. And this loop is not something I played myself. No, it's played by Andy Ferris, the guitar geek on YouTube. And I'm very grateful that he wanted to record this for me. I've already used this loop, so if you did watch that shimmer reverb comparison list that I did, then you probably recognize this. Well, what we're gonna do now is create one more channel, and this is gonna be our effect channel, and we're gonna use this as our send effect. So we need to add a send effect node to the first channel so we can send the signal over to the other channel. We're gonna open up this node and go to the bus send, and I'm just gonna choose bus A. Next, I'm gonna load bus A into the input slot of the second channel. So there we go, our send channel is now done. Now I'm gonna pull down on this one a little bit because I don't know yet how much of the signal I want going in there. Alright, so there is something I always do whenever I know I'm going to be working with a reverb, and that is I always filter my signal. So the first thing we're going to do is to add a filter, and we're going to go in here and choose a high pass filter. I like the built-in stuff inside AUM because it's really low DSP stuff, so it doesn't take much resources to run. Now we're gonna open up the settings for this one, and I'm gonna double tap here, and I'm gonna set this at about 500 Hertz. It's pretty high because I'm taking all of the sub bass, all of the mid bass out of it, and it's simply because I don't like when my reverbs becomes muddy or rumbly, or you know what I mean. So close down this, and the next thing we're gonna do is to add another node. So just double tap on the line, you've got a new node, and we open this up, and now we're gonna go for an AUV3 effect. Now this is something from Audio Damage, and I've shown it on my channel before, many times actually, because it's one of my most loved plugins. It's called Discord. The reason to why I like this one is because it's a combination of different effects. So you've got 3 pitch shifters in there that sounds very much different from one another. Further down the signal chain in this plugin, you've got a delay, and then you've also got a filter, and at the end you've got a reverb. Now we're not going to be using the reverb, so I pulled down the mix to 0. I'm not going to touch the filters. I like them just the way they are. And when it comes to the delay though, we are going to mess with that. But first, I want you to hear what happens when we mess with the pitch. So I'll close down Discord 4, we'll mute the main channel so that we're only hearing the affected signal, and then I'm gonna pull up on the send while we play this. It sounds kind of mono-ish, but it's gonna change real soon. So I'm gonna open up Discord, and now we're gonna start messing with the shift. As you can hear, we're pitch shifting it. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is to show you how you could make your own shimmer reverb, because what a shimmer reverb really is just a pitch shifter going through a reverb and then being fed back into itself using feedback. And we are going to be using feedback, and I just want you to be careful when you're doing feedback inside AUM, because it can very quickly just go to that place where people eat bread with spoons and stuff. So we're gonna double tap in here where it says semi, and I am going to pitch this a whole octave up. So I'm gonna type in 1200 here, and this one too, 1210. And I'm doing that extra little, you know, those extra cents just to get a different shift in the stereo field with the pitch. It doesn't sound too good. I'm just demonstrating something for you now. So I'm gonna increase the delay time, and I'm gonna increase the regen for both of these. These basically work like feedback. And now what we're going to do is to add feedback. Now I know it doesn't sound good, and it's going to in the end. Just trust me on this. We're using bus A to send the audio over from this channel into this one. Well, now we're gonna load bus A again and create a feedback loop. So whatever goes out from bus A goes into bus A and around again. And like I said, you have to be careful, because when you're working with feedback loops, it can easily just get overpowered. So you need to be ready on the volume control, and don't ever just max stuff out instantly, because you might damage your hearing or destroy your speakers and things like that. So I'm gonna load bus send A, pull down on the volume, and now I'm gonna play this and listen to what happens. You can start hearing that, you know, distinct shimmer reverb type sound. Now, all that we need is a reverb, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't like how the pitch is sounding here. And this is not what I want to show you really. I just want to show you the principle of a shimmer reverb so that you can experiment with it. Now, what we're going to do is to open up Discord again. And what I'm gonna do is double tap here and just set this to 0, this one 2, and now we're gonna mess with these controls. Just give a slight pitch. I like that way more, okay? So something is happening now, and it's starting to sound more interesting. Now, what's so beautiful with Discord 4 is that you can also use LFOs to shift stuff back and forth. So when it comes to the pitch shifters here, you can actually use the LFOs to have the pitch slightly just move over time. And this is a technique I used for my entire mellow album. It's literally the sound of the mellow album is this plugin right here. So let's do that. Sounds very interesting. Now, there is one more thing we need to do, and that is to add a reverb. So I'm gonna close down Discord 4 here, and I'm gonna add another node. And I'm adding it after the feedback because I don't want the reverb to actually feed back into the rest of the loop. I just want to now soften out and mush out the sounds, creating a carpet of sounds in. I just want to mush out and create a carpet of sound, like a wall of sound. So what do I use for that? Well, for this case, I'm gonna load Stratosphere Reverb, and I've already reviewed this one on my channel. It's a great reverb. It's an AUV3 STR, and there it is, Stratosphere Cloud Reverb. Now, what we're going to do here is to increase decay time, I think, and increase the wet mix fully, and then pull down on the mod a bit because the mod actually makes the tail sway around a bit, and I don't want that. We already have so much movement thanks to the pitch shifter inside Discord 4 because we're already moving that with the LFO. Diffusion needs to be high. Low end, I always pull down on low end, but this time I've already got a high pass filter already, in this effect chain. So there's not much bass we need to filter out. And I'm gonna pull down a little bit on the onset time. The onset time is basically like a slow attack for the reverb. What does this sound like? Well, let me blend it in with the original sound. This is what we got. This is what I love with AUM. It really just gives you a very flexible, modular platform to experiment with sounds. But again, if you're using feedback, please be careful. You can so easily damage your speakers or your hearing, and you need to be very wary of what you're doing with those controls. Always start out low, pull down on all the volume. You might as well just want to pull down the volume on your main speakers too when you're working with feedback inside AUM. You cannot be careful enough. So go out there, have fun with AUM, experiment a lot. And if you want to see more videos like this, tell me and let me know down below in the comment section. And also give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, then give me a thumbs down. And if you want to support me in a financial way, then why don't you check out my music first? There's a full list of links down there in the description. And if you want to support me financially in any other ways, I've got Patreon and PayPal. And if you don't want to do any of that, that's okay too. You can always go and check out the what I was gonna say something. As usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it. You cannot hide it all. I'll break that firewall.
Warning.
I'm coming for you.